Hello, this is Patrick Jesse, a registered migration agent by profession and been living in Australia for the last 23 years. Today I want to explain briefly about Australia, what it takes to study in Australia and how you settle in this great nation by making yourself a skilled person. Please note this video is a little lengthy, but stay till end. If you're thinking to study and apply student visa to Australia or to settle in Australia, this video can give you inside information to help prepare yourself. So as I said, I'm a registered migration agent and practicing for 14 years. So what exactly is registered migration agent for yourself? So registered migration agent are allowed to provide immigration advice and assistance, including providing help with lodging visa application and have sufficient knowledge of migration law and procedure. I personally prefer experienced doctors and lawyers, so choose wisely when it comes to your visa application as well, which can make and break your career. So I started my journey as a student in Australia, and now it's 23rd year running. I've traveled several countries, and they are all great nations, no doubt. But for me, the country that are close to my heart are India, Australia, Nepal, and Philippines, because this is where I've learned and grown as a person. So it's easy these days through social media. I can share my experience and give information to you all wherever you are based. So to begin with, let's briefly say what Australia is all about. So Australia is the world's sixth largest country, as most of you know, with total population of about 26 million. Canberra is nation's capital, while Sydney is the largest city. Other major metropolitan areas are Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, and Adelaide. Australia is a highly developed country with the world's 12th largest economy. 30% of country's population are immigrants, and this is important part for you. So you can be one of the immigrant, and I'll explain as I speak how. Australia ranks highly in quality of life, health, education, economic freedom, and political rights, to name few. The majority of immigrants are Australian. A majority of immigrants are skilled person. Immigration programs also include categories of family members and refugees. On my upcoming videos, I will explain how you can be a skilled person as well. So in 2020, the largest foreign-born population were those in England, those born in England, followed by India, China, New Zealand, Philippines, and Vietnam. 52% follow Christianity in Australia. Australia is also great sports nation, hosted the Olympic twice, 1956 in Melbourne, 2000 in Sydney. It is also set to host 2032 games in Brisbane. Imagine how big it can be for you. So school attendance for registration or registration for homeschooling is compulsory throughout Australia. Education is the responsibility of individual states and territories. There are 43 universities in Australia, 40 Australian university, 2 international university, and 1 private specialty university. Along with these universities, there are many other institutions that offers higher education courses. There is also a state-based system of vocational training on the state. There are also several private colleges across Australia. If you study in Australia, you will be called as an international student. The journey begins as an international student, but you can achieve so much more after that, however, only if you know how. So do your own research and get guidance from someone experienced, which is the most important. So as an international student, the well-being, quality of student experience, and the provision of up-to-date and accurate information are protected by law under ESOS Act in Australia. One video at a time, I will provide more details on topics like courses, universities, permanent visa, work visa, employer sponsor, state nomination, and many more, to give some general guidance for you. Australia has the highest ratio of international students per head of population in the world by large margin, with 812,000 international students enrolled in nation's universities and vocational institutions in 2019. International students represented on average 26.7% of student bodies of Australian university. Right. So what is needed to study in Australia? First of all, you must be eligible and meet minimum criteria like your academic, your English, age, health, have enough funds, your genuineness, make welfare arrangement if under 18, to name few. So if you are eligible, you need to enroll in an eligible course in Australia and apply student visa to travel. Importantly, while choosing course, you need to be very careful. You need to think, what is your purpose? What is your plan? Where do you want to see yourself after this course? Depending on your purpose and background, you should plan right from step number 1 Error at step number 1 cannot be corrected once visa is lodged. Remember, if your circumstances changes, you must update immigration immediately. For example, if you get married after lodging visa and before decision, please update. If you are married, always apply visa as married, not single. Student visa is also a temporary visa to study up to 5 years. The type of courses and its length will determine the length of stay. Primary school children enrolled in year 1-4 will generally only be granted a student visa for a maximum of 3 years. If you run out of visa while in Australia, you want to continue study, you must apply for a new student visa, and you can do this while in Australia. If your student visa expires before your graduation, you might be eligible for subclass 600. Student visa, you will need to get a letter from an education provider on the date of your graduation. If you hold or held a visa and completed specific qualification in Australia in the last 6 months, you might be eligible for a temporary graduate visa subclass 485. So what exactly is 485 visa or graduate visa? This is a visa that lets you live, study and work full time in Australia temporarily. You must study minimum 2-year CRICOS registered course, but you can finish or complete your course in 16 months if allowed and if you want. If you study master's, any master degree, you will be eligible for 3 years of 485 visa after study. If you study master's in regional area, which means remote Australia, you will be eligible for 4 years 485. So in total, you have 6 years of temporary visa potentially. Any bachelor degree is also eligible for this visa. Duration is again depending on study location. Skill diploma courses like cookery, mechanic, carpentry, telecommunication may get you 2 years of 485 visa, but this is temporary and it will reduce to 18 months in the future. Starting 1st July 2022, all diploma qualification for 2 years will give you 2 years of 485 visa. Please remember, this is only for 12 months starting 1st of July 22. While on 485 visa, you can travel in and out of Australia. Now the important part, what happens when you finish your study in Australia? You know, there are a few options. So you can choose to do another course to make yourself even further skilled or apply for a 485 visa, or you can return home, or if you studied skill course and meet enough points, you can migrate to Australia and become permanent resident. I will explain in detail point to point in my next video how you can be eligible for permanent visa after studying right course in Australia. You know, there are various ways to get permanent residence in Australia, and a popular one is of course skill migration. You can be nominated by state, or some cases even employer can help you, can PR. You need to be skilled person. This is in demand, that is in demand in Australia at the time of application. As long as you're a skilled person, you can migrate yourself. Remember, there is an age limit to migrate as well. You don't become skilled person just like that, you know, and get PR. You need a proper planning. Planning is most important. You need to think, what is your purpose of study? What is your future? What will be in demand in your country, in Australia, or across the world in near future? You know, plan it properly. As I said earlier, 30% are immigrant in this country. Do you want to be one of them? Stay tuned and subscribe. More details in upcoming videos. So there's plenty here to inspire your future plans. So go on, take a look around and let yourself dream of all the possibilities. Thank you. This is Patrick Chase again from Mates International.